I think the first thing to say is that people feeling anxious at the moment, that's normal, that's healthy. It's still difficult, but it's a very, very understandable response to the situation that we're in at the moment. There's, an entire psychology kind of evidence base that suggests all of our anxiety comes from a point of uncertainty. And at the moment, we are being asked to sit with a huge amount of uncertainty on something that is big. It's not a trivial matter. It's, can be kind of life and death. So it's very understandable that people are feeling anxious at the moment. I think it's also really important to acknowledge that we've been doing this for a long time. This is a long time to have a raised experience of anxiety. And anxiety is our internal threat system. And it's effective, but it's also not really. It was designed for when we lived in a fundamentally different time. It was, when we were running around fighting saber-toothed tigers. And the idea of it, what it was designed for is you get yourself into a situation where you're in danger, and it's this deeply unpleasant, physically horrible sensation that just makes you want to leave. It's that fight, flight, freeze response. It was designed to kind of be in short, sharp bursts. And actually, as our environments changed, and particularly in the pandemic, people are having a lot more of these feelings, a lot more heightened for a long period of time. And that's really difficult, because what it can do is give us tunnel vision. Because when you're in an anxious state, your brain is saying, we just need to get out. We need to get away from this feeling. It's awful. And it doesn't entirely shut down, but it slows down other processes that we're normally able to do. So how we problem solve, how we can balance our kind of the logical bit of our brain and the emotional bit of our brain, that's much harder when we're in a state of anxiety. There's a model called the 3 emotional regulation systems that suggests we have an anxiety system, a drive system, and a soothe system. And when everything's going well, we move between those 3 emotional states, emotional conditions, depending on what the situation we're in. And I think the thing that's really important to comment on is that we're being told that we need to be worried. We're being told that there's something out there that's scary. And all of a sudden, all those things that we do automatically without thinking, going to the shop, hugging your mum, all of those things we're being told are dangerous. So we should be feeling more anxious anyway. And secondly, our anxiety system is very automatic. It just comes online because it wants to protect you. So it doesn't want you to have to stop and think, do I need to be worried about this? It works on a better safe than sorry principle. So it just turns on. Our drive system, which is about achieving things, and our soothe system, which is about calming and being in the moment, they take much more active input. And the things that normally help move us into those 2 systems, things like doing hobbies, seeing friends, having a hug. And those are things that, because of the lockdown, have been taken away for a lot of people. And it's the soothe system that normally acts as the brakes on the anxiety system, or that threat system. So not only is our threat system being activated, also normally the thing that balances it out and calms it down, that's much harder to get into that state. It takes a lot of work. And that, of course, makes planning, thinking, considering, balancing all those risks really difficult, because your threat system is being really loud and telling you, this is dangerous, we just need to get out. And again, I know I mentioned it, but the length of time that we've been doing this for, that people have been managing these difficult feelings, that has an impact. It kind of turns into Chinese water torture after a while. It just keeps going. So I think it's a very understandable way people have been feeling, and not giving yourself a hard time about thinking that you're not being as effective as normal, or you're not making decisions in the way that you normally would, or that you're finding yourself being overwhelmed more often. it's really difficult. And I'm not saying that this is an understandable response to try and minimize it or say that it's nothing. But I think it's really important that people know that this is how your brain's programmed to work. And it's because we are dealing with a very difficult situation. It's not because there's something wrong or you should be coping better.
Mm-hmm.